going on, guys? My name is Seven, and today I'm going to be talking about the virus. Seems like that's all everyone's talking about these days. Um, but I feel like I got some thoughts that need to be said about the current situation that's at hand. And not getting a bit of a retro wave going on in the background, so that you guys aren't bored out of your minds whenever you guys watch this video. So I'm going to be giving my thoughts on what's been going on lately, and I'm also going to give you some feel-good content, some good news, some uplifting pieces of information about the status and the what phase we're in this pandemic. But hopefully this content's entertaining for you, and it's not too boring. But without further ado, I'm gonna get started with a couple of things. First off, I want to say, stay inside. Don't be dumb. Don't go outside. Don't go see your friends. Yeah, go for a walk, but don't walk near other people. Just social distancing. Please practice that, because I feel like that's the only way that this is gonna stop. Is that if we stop touching each other, if we stop spreading it, that's really the only way that we're gonna beat this virus. So whatever you do, please follow quarantine. Be safe. Wash your hands. Take the basic precautions. Masks don't do anything, by the way. The only thing masks do is that if you are the one that is sick, you need to wear a mask so you don't spread it yourself. But if you aren't sick and you're wearing a mask, then you're just being a big dummy, and you're taking resources from people who need it the most. So if you are not sick, a mask will not do anything. It does not protect you from the virus. So please don't take a mask if you don't need a mask. Don't be dumb. So with the basic stuff out of the way, I'm gonna be talking about how just crazy this is. This is crazy. I'm what is it? I'm 19, so I'm fresh out of high school, and I'm a freshman in college. So it's kind of insane to be thinking that we're living through a time like this. The last time something like this has happened was 1918, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but that's kind of crazy, because eventually, this is history right now. People are going to be looking back and remembering about this pandemic, and I'm living through it, which is insane. And a couple of times when I was younger, my parents would tell me stories about how they had to live through things like this, not necessarily with viruses and infections and things like that, but they told me about how to live through natural disasters and the war. And so but they said they've never dealt with anything like this. So it's kind of crazy to think that I go to the grocery store and toilet paper is not on the shelves, or I've never seen Walmart so empty before. So it's mind-boggling to think that we're living through a time like this. And 2020, it's kind of funny. We've been hit back to back with with things so far. I remember seeing a meme on Instagram how January was talking about World War III, and then February was something else, and then it was one on top of another, and how coronavirus is happening now. So I think 2020 is it's a rough start to the decade, but we can only get better from here. It can only go up. We can't get any worse than this. But really, I think people are a bit. I think it's just kind of blown out of proportion. I mean, yes, it is a very serious issue to deal with, but I think panic is not necessary. I think if we just follow the steps and take basic precautions to avoid contracting the virus in the first place, then I think there's no need for panic. So really, if you just stay inside like the government told you to, and you follow the rules, wash your hands. You should have been washing your hands before the virus hit. But if you take care of yourself and you stay clean, and you don't do things to spread it or contract it, then I think there's no need for panic. And I think the excess buying, the just the absurd amount that people are hoarding, at this point is really, I don't think it's really beneficial. Um, be, to a certain extent, I do realize that you need to have an extra amount of resources saved up for just in case, an emergency happen or something happens. But I think to the extent that some people are doing it to where they're buying like 20 cases of water at a time and buying out all the toilet paper or the hand sanitizer, which by the way, half of the stuff doesn't even, hand sanitizer doesn't really protect you from anything. It's just, you gotta wash your hands. But anyways, my point being is that right now the depletion of resources, I feel like, can be cut back and dealt with by just taking what you need, only what's necessary, and not really overindulging in your purchases, because it's really kind of crazy to think that, whenever I went to the store the other day, that people were, they have to limit people to one case of water, and it's so hard to come by for certain resources, and that other people can't get it. Like certain people can't get things that they need because other people are taking it all up. Like one of my friends, he has he's a bit older than me, and he has a child. He has a newborn, really, just a couple months old. And he said when he went to Costco, there was no baby supplies, no baby wipes, because since there's no hand sanitizer, there's no Lysol, people go to the next thing that they think will disinfect their things in their homes, and then they ended up going to baby wipes, which is kind of really stupid because they don't even have babies. And then my friend who actually has a baby and needs to clean his baby doesn't have baby wipes to do it. And so I think the whole thing is, we really need to think about, of course we need to take care of ourselves, but we also need to think about how our actions will affect others and others around us. Especially in a time like this, the only way we're going to get through this is if we all really come together and work together on this. If we all stay inside, follow the rules, if we all only take what we need, and we look out for each other, then that's really the only way it works. Because if someone else is looking out for someone else, but it's not reciprocated, then that's when things get complicated. Or if someone's in quarantine but other people are not, and then they come back to quarantine, then that's when things get complicated. That's how it spreads, and that's how disagreements happen, and then it could snowball to something bigger than just a simple disagreement. But we're gonna try and stay positive. And speaking of positive, let me share with you an interesting story that I found when I was searching through Google. So there's this one lady, this grandmother. She's 103 years old. She's 103 years old, and she lives in China. She contracted the virus, and she made a full recovery, which is insane. She's 103, a grandmother. 103. That's 103, baby. That's crazy. And she made a full recovery despite the virus taking out a lot of people. A lot of people younger than her, nonetheless. But I'm happy to hear that grandmother is doing well in China. She gets to live out the rest of her life knowing that she's a complete badass and she beat a virus. On another note, there's this woman in North Carolina. Her name's Becky Hoffler, or Hoffler. She does grocery store runs for the elderly within her community, which is really nice. And she does that so that the older people can reduce exposure to the outside, which is also it's some wholesome stuff. That's that kind of stuff that just kind of brings a smile on your face, and it kind of warms your heart a little bit, So, but I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read that article and see a couple of more wholesome, good news, good stories that came out from this whole pandemic and this whole situation. There's a couple of more that I left out, but I think those two are the ones that stood out the most to me. Another one real quick is that Korea finally has more cured cases than they do new cases, which is amazing. People are making more recoveries and they are getting sick, which is really, really good. And so that means over in Asia, the tides are turning, and things are getting better. Slowly, they're slowly getting better, but they're getting better nonetheless. So that means eventually, there's hope that we're all gonna make it through it. I mean, there was never a doubt that we were all gonna die from this one virus, but there is hope that we will get better soon. How soon, I don't know, because I'm not a scientist or a doctor or whoever is working to fight the virus. Which, by the way, thank you to everyone out there who is an essential worker and putting themselves on the line to make sure this country doesn't go to shit and doesn't go up in flames while everyone else is sitting inside panicking about the virus. But shout out to them for really kind of keeping us afloat. All the doctors, nurses, mail delivery people, garbage man, all those people. I just want to say a quick thank you to you guys. And so that's about that. That's gonna wrap up this video. That's about all I got for today. I just want to give some thoughts, and then wanted to give you guys some feel good content. If you enjoyed this, leave a like down below, and also leave a comment. I want to know how you guys are doing. I want to know if your situation's good. If it's not so good, maybe put it to comment down below, and then someone else may see it, and then maybe someone will be able to reach out and help you. Unfortunately, I wish I had more resources, and I wish I was able to give you guys more information, but I can't. I don't really have that much money, but one day I know for sure, 100%, I will be able to help provide for my viewers and to help those in need. That's my goal. This is my first video, so I'm gonna give it a couple of years and see where I end up. So hopefully I'll be able to help those in need. But anyways, leave a comment below. Tell us about your situation. If it's good or bad, whatever it is, I want to hear about it. And I'm gonna do my best to help you. And I hope my other viewers will do the same to try and help you as best as they can. If you enjoyed content like this, I'm releasing similar content like this where I just have gameplay going on in the background, and I might tell stories. I might talk about current events, maybe news updates. But it's gonna be very similar to this. I enjoy video games, so it's definitely gonna be a part of this channel. But I also am gonna give my own opinion and kind of my own stories and things like that on top of the gameplay. But anyways, I've been rambling on for too long. If you enjoyed content like this, just please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you think someone else would enjoy this content, I'd appreciate it if you shared it, liked it, left a comment. But anyways, again, my name is Seven. I hope you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.